working for Mexicali Fish Keeper. I'm about to lead you guys in a little bit of why it is that I don't have a lot of content. The problem is that I always come into the fish room not really thinking about much, and I just start, working. And when I'm done doing what I'm doing, I realize that maybe I should have recorded it and put up a video on it. So here's something that I started doing that I probably should have started recording from the beginning. I'm in the fish room. I'm working on my 56 gallon Tiger Barb tank. I kind of got bored with the scape that I had done on it. I had kind of thrown it together, not really thinking too much about what I wanted to do with it, and now it's kind of bothered me. So this is what I'm doing. So let me show you. Let me turn you around so I can show you what it is. Okay, as you guys can see, I've already started tearing into it. I took out the driftwood that I had in there. I had just kind of put it in there, not really thinking too much about what I wanted to do with it. And then I had a bunch of jungle val that was growing in the middle because I didn't have any other plants. These are all been propagated plants from the same tank. Now I have enough where I can actually start doing something with this tank that's more to my liking. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys a little bit of this. Just kind of wanted to share that with you. I know the water's a little dirty. I'm also going to do a water change on that. I might rearrange these rocks, but I'll see. I'm going to pull everything out. I'm going to pull the fish out. I have a bin that I'm going to keep them in and try to do this as quickly as possible with something that I'm a little bit more satisfied with. So just kind of wanted to show you guys the, I guess, 1/3 into the process. I've featured this tank, I think, in other videos or little shorts, so you guys have a pretty good idea. If not, I'll look for a clip of it before I got my hands into it, so you guys can get an idea what it was looking like. But I'm gonna go ahead and start breaking it down and start seeing what kind of appeals to me. So hang on. Okay, as you guys can see, I've managed to get everything out of the tank with the exception of the substrate, which is what's going to happen next, and that Amazon sword that's in there. I don't want to move it yet until I'm really sure where the scape's going to end up, but the idea being that the return for this internal sump is up here. One of the issues that I was having is with the Vallisneria was clogging up that return. So what I'm thinking is I want to do like a heavily planted area in this section with some of these driftwood coming out of the plants, and leave this big open area over here for the fish to be able to swim. Somehow I need to figure out a pleco cave that you guys won't be able to see or tell that it's a cave within this hardscape, because I do have some long fin bristlenose that I got from Brennan, and I want to see if I can get them to breed. So that's kind of what's the idea, what's happening here. Geez, I didn't realize how scratched up my aquarium had gotten. Oh well. It really hides it well with the water. So that's kind of the general idea. Just kind of wanted to show you guys that. One of the things that I do want to show you is this was all just gravel and sand. It's got no nutrient substrate. So what I'm gonna do, because I do have heavy root feeders like the Amazon sword and all the stem plants, I want to be able to have nutrient enriched soil on the bottom and use this as the cap. And I'll show you how I'm going to do my soil mixture. It's something totally new that I'm going to try. We'll see if it works or it's a total fail. But either way, you guys will be along for that. So let me go ahead and finish moving some of this gravel around, and then I'll show you when I get ready to do the nutrient soil mixture. Well, I managed to get most of that sand out of the inside of the aquarium, as you guys can see. I used to add a little thing to help me scoop it out. So most of it is right here. so now I'm going to go ahead and start doing that mixture that I was thinking about, and I'll show you guys how I'm going to do that. So bear with me. Okay, as I mentioned it before, I tend to, when I want to do a dirted tank, I used to do the inch of potting soil capped with sand in the past. The only problem I've ever had with that, though, is that you have to go through a longer algae period where it adjusts to, well, the tank balances itself out. So one of the, I guess, shortcuts that I've taken is I've taken organic potting soil and mixed it in with some sand and gravel. Obviously, this still has a lot of big particles in it. So one of the things that I like to do is take that stuff, pass it through a strainer, kind of like this, and for whatever amount I'm going to use. And as you can see, all the fines will go through, and then I get left over with the big particles. And so I can remove these and have the soil that I want. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'll show you how I'll do it. I'll set up the camera so you guys can watch while I do this in real time. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to scoop some of this material into here. And this is stuff that I've already been mixed. And then I'm going to take whatever I'm going to capture it in. And it's real simple. You're just going to sift it to get rid of the larger particles that are in here, like this stuff. But even that I can still break it down a little bit more and make sure it gets through. Yeah, the only problem is it does get a little dusty, and it does take a little bit of work to do this. But the end result, I'll show you guys real quick just so you guys get an idea. Alright, as you guys can see, it's a fine mixture of potting soil and gravel, and this is going to be part of my my enriched soil. And what I like about it is that it helps to cut down on the excess nutrients in the tank, but still provides enough nutrients until the tank itself starts producing its own nutrients from the waste of the fish. So I'm going to go ahead and do the quantity that I need, but I just kind of wanted to show you guys this process so you guys have an idea of what it is. I've talked about it before, but I figured I'd show you guys. Alright. Okay, so I've got my part of my nutrient soil ready. What I'm going to do is something that I've never done before, but I've always told you I like to experiment in my fish room. I've done some plenums where I've used clay-based, substrate. So I want to add a little bit of that to this, and I'm also going to add a little bit of laterite in hopes that that'll provide some iron for some of the plants too, and they'll be able to get some of the red colors that are in those plants. And I'm going to mix it in with this, and that's going to be my nutrient or my enriched soil that I'm going to use as the very base, and then cap it off with just sand and gravel that I took off from that aquarium. So let me show you how I'm going to do this, and we'll see what it looks like. Okay, so this is what I'm going to use. This is fluoride-based laterite powder. As you guys can see, it's like talcum powder. I don't need a whole lot of this. I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit in there and mix it in with that. And then for my clay substrate, this is what I'm going to use. It's a kitty litter. The one that I've been using is this one that is fragrance-free, non-clumping kitty litter. And I've had pretty good success. I know this is one of those two are key ingredients in doing a plenum. But I'm going to try to see how this works at a deep substrate, dirted substrate. So, like I said, I'm always trying different things to see how it works out. So, let me open this up so I can put some of the soil in it. So this is what it looks like. It's just clay, and I'm just gonna sprinkle. I don't even know how much. Also, what I like about it is that it's a larger particle. So the fine sand that's in there, I'm hoping it's gonna keep it from wanting to compact. That is somewhat of an issue. Let me mix this together. All right. That's pretty good. So now I'm going to go ahead and add my iron source. And this actually goes a long way, so you don't need a whole lot. Just a little light dusting on it. That should be more than enough. So that's pretty even in there. As you guys can see, I don't know if you can pick it up on the camera, but it kind of picked up a reddish tint to the substrate, and that's just kind of. It really don't need a whole lot of iron. A little bit goes a long ways. All right, so let's get this in the tank, and I'll show you how I'm going to do that. Okay, we're at the top of the tank now. This is what it. Just banged my head. Sorry. There's still quite a bit of mold down there, which is fine. I'm going to leave that in there, and I'm going to concentrate on putting a lot of that soil in here. And since I'm going to have that Amazon sword, I'm going to probably put some in that corner. I'm going to push back as much as I can from the front, because I don't want that to be seen, and then so that the cap soil will be over the top of that. So that's what I'm going to do next, and I'll show you what it looks like once it's done. Okay, so I already put all the soil that I wanted. I'm trying to keep this area in here clear. I didn't put it on the whole area because, again, the idea is I'm going to plant this area back in here with some of that wood coming out, and then just having that sword over here, because the sword does need a lot of room to be able to grow. And I kind of want to have some empty space for the fish to be able to swim. Obviously, I need to cap this out because that's not even enough for the roots to be able to be planted in. But I'm going to add maybe another 3 inches of just of a cap on here, and I'll show you what that looks like once it gets done. All right. Okay, so this is the initial hardscape setup. I think I'm just gonna go with that one short branch. I'm still not 100% sure. I tried using that other piece, but it's too long and it just doesn't have the right symmetry to it, in my opinion. So what I'm going to start doing now is I'm going to start planting this up. All in here, will probably be some of that Luigi that I have. I have some Rotella that I'll probably use to kind of fill in some of these other areas. I do have a bunch of this guppy grass that I think I'm going to trim this up and use the trimming to try to see if I can carpet the front of this area in here with not guppy grass, but pearl wheat. So that's what I'm going to try to do. I don't know if I'm going to be able to accomplish it. Obviously, this is going to be a tank that's going to progress eventually. It's not going to be an immediate result. But I'm still curious to see what I can pull off. So let me go ahead and start planting this, and I'll show you once it's done planted. So this is what some of those plants that I had. Obviously, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be trimming and propagating these plants. So I'm not too worried about it not looking too dense right now. But I want to record this as the progression happens. So basically what I have is some Luigi and Rotella that I've got in here, and I've got some pearl weed down in there. Like I said, I'm hoping that I'll be able to keep that short so that it kind of carpets that front area, the bottom area down in here. As these plants get adjusted to the tank, they'll start rising up, and then we'll get a better look. Right now it's still a little bit dirty. You know, there's a lot of turbulence in the water and dirt and all that stuff. So I'll give it a couple hours, let it run through the filter, and then come back and take a look at it once it's settled in. And we'll see what it looks like once the fish get in there. Alright, so as you guys can see, I've got the fish back in here, starting to clear up a little bit. Obviously this is still going to have, it's going to be evolving. It's going to have some growth to do to fill in. I'll probably have to trim some of these plants and replant them so that it starts propagating. And but that's pretty much it. I still have a few plants that need to come up and stand up erect. And we'll see how it goes. The fish are a little bit stressed out because of the move. They're not as colored up as they normally are. They're all trying to hide over here. But as you can see, at least now they have this big old area down in here where they can come out and swim. And whenever they want to seek cover, I think there's plenty of hiding areas within this area here where they can kind of get away from each other. So I'll do an update on this tank later on once it's all settled in and I start doing some of the trimming and replanting some of those clippings. But that's all for tonight. Thank you guys.